okay, we're joined by a couple of activists here in our region of the United States where we're concerned with all these shenanigans in the last election, selection, election infection, what really went down, what really happened. Ricky Weible will be coming to Rochester later on this summer, and we hope that he's going to bring Susan with us. My cell phone is freaking out, of course, as this whole thing began. I don't know why, but I want to welcome Susan and Ricky, and we're going to include all the links to their social media. If you want to connect with these activists, if you have information you want to share about things that you witnessed, things that you may have reported to the FEC, things you might have tried to talk to Secretary Simon about, whatever information, reach out to Ricky and Susan. We'll put their info and their contact info in the description below this video. I'm really thrilled that we're having this conversation tonight, guys, and thanks for coming along. What's going on in this Minnesota stuff?
You wouldn't believe it. This is actually, you thought COVID was bad. Actually, it's the whole election process. It is a complete dystopia. You know, if you remember the creators of Black Mirror, they actually complained that because of COVID, they actually had to stop creating content because real life was actually worse than anything that they could come up with. Well, Susan and I are here to actually tell you, just like Billy Mays, wait, there's more. And so a whole lot more. So, and every time we have gone through this whole process, we learn more, we see more. And and I can't wait to get in front of all of you because we have literally found 18 different ways that they literally bend the curve in such a way that is completely dystopian, that you would think that Minnesota Nice actually does it the right way. We're gonna show you that it's not so nice. It just isn't.
Or maybe Minnesota Nice to Democrats.
Right.
Just saying.
So there's like some terms that we're still kind of learning here. So like election day. So Susan, election day, does that mean that it's one day or is that many days?
Election day means election eternity. Actually,
right.
It's called rolling elections. I think sooner or later we're just going to have ongoing forever elections. They'll never end.
Right.
Let's just keep them going, right?
And she's not wrong. We literally have 47 days of election time within the state of Minnesota. It's fantastic. So if you didn't vote, and so what I really love is that Steve Simon, he tells the rest of the country that we're what? Where do we rank nationally in voter turnout?
Oh, we're right at the top.
We're right at the top. And is that because we have 47 days? So the real question is, if we have 47 days of voting, why didn't the other people vote?
You're not counting the 5 days after the election, or is it 7?
That's true. But it did help that Hennepin County, when did they start counting the ballots? They started right after the...
When did they say they started counting them, or when did they actually start counting them?
Oh, yeah, that's right. What's the law allow?
Well, the law doesn't allow any early counting. The law allows counting after, election day counting. That's what the law says.
But see, here's what's fun.
For election day, so that could be any day within.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at the law.
So when we look at the law, it specifically says...
The law says when the polls close, which would really mean the actual election day, like November 3rd, for example.
Oh, okay, so...
Polls close, 8 p.m.
Okay, so that's when they're supposed to count the absentee ballots, but Hennepin County on their website, they kind of said that they were going to start counting 7 days before the election.
Well, but thankfully we had the consent decree, so we got to count 2 weeks early this time.
Oh, that's why they put it on their website twice, to really make sure that it matched, right?
Right.
They doubled down.
We want to be super clear that we're going to break the law for an extra week.
Okay, perfect. So
don't worry, it's all good because we put it on the website, so it's got to be okay.
Okay, that's right. So if it's on the web, we can believe it, right?
It's
okay
on the website.
So
I mean, you think they would put something out there in public, in the open, that they aren't allowed to do? That'd be crazy.
Right. So let me ask you this. So if I break a law, that's
Oh,
in
you're going to
state
jail.
statute.
You're going to jail.
Okay. So if a county breaks a law, what's our remedy?
Honestly, you don't have a remedy.
Oh.
There's no remedy. We've learned there's no remedy.
So the rules really don't apply?
No, they
Oh.
don't apply.
So,
Especially not if you're Dakota County. Then they definitely don't apply.
okay. Perfect.
Definitely not.
Well, wait a minute. So if the state statute says, okay, so we have election day on November 3rd, and the statute says we can wait till December 15th to have all of the data in. But then because of, the cough, Simon says January 12th.
Do you think it's a coincidence that we have a guy named Simon Says being our guy?
It's fantastic. I love it.
I'm actually surprised the Democrats haven't made sure that someone named Simon didn't run in every state in the country, because we all know psychologically that when Simon says something, we must do it, right? I think it's brilliant. Simon Says should be the Secretary of State in every state.
Maybe he's going to be the next governor. I wonder.
Or the president.
Right.
Grand Cuba, the UN. There's no stopping him.
There's no stopping him.
No stopping him. Simon says vote for Simon.
So you would think that with the rules of getting the voter history in, given the extra days that Simon said that everybody had, they should have been able to exceed the expectations to get that in, right?
Oh, I mean, I think they exceeded expectations for sure.
Oh, that's right. There's none. There's no accountability. I see how that works. Fantastic.
I think everybody got a big bonus. I think they all got big bonuses from whoever's paying them. I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Probably Perkins Coie, but whatever.
But there was one county I think we should give an award to, Chippewa County. They were the only ones that actually got all their data in before the state canvassing board. Fillmore County still hasn't today gotten theirs in.
Just so you know, all the other counties emailed them and said, "What did you do that for?"
I know, it's making them look bad.
All of them are mad. They're the ones that everybody hates. You know, in school, that one kid that gets the perfect score and y'all go, "You wrecked the curve." Right?
Yeah.
That's Chippewa County. Good job. Win for everybody else.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So.
They won't do it again. Promise you.
Oh yeah, there will be a change. They're going to be voted out.
It's not going to be allowed. It's not going to be allowed.
So let me ask
you.
Rick,
you might not invite us. Our invitation's canceled. It's done. Sorry.
Yeah.
You guys, my whole function here is to be like Ed McMahon. I'm just going, ho, 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 ho. You guys have worked this routine out before. Have you done this before?
No.
Did you rehearse this?
No.
This is genius. You
this
guys both, we can't wait to have you down here because it's going to be comedy, open mic comedy night on what happened in this election infection and the whole coof that shut down election day. Of course, canceling election day, like you guys have said, canceling election day is part of canceling every civic and religious holiday, if you will, since a year ago. It's been a year since Easter was canceled. It's about 1 year now. We're into 2 weeks until we're back to normal. And it affected everything over the last calendar 12-month period of time. And election day was one of those institutions that was just summarily canceled by the authorities at large because the Grand Poobah, and I like this, Simon Says, you can't have election day. You got to, do you have anything to say about drop-off ballots or pop-off ballots or pop-up balloting, pop-up vote, pippity-poppity-poo balloting, or curbside drop-off, or mail-in or mail-out or whatever it was? Do we know how many, I've put in a data request, how many ballots were sent out? How many ballots were applied for? How many ballots were sent out, therefore? How many were returned, etc.? Do you guys have any data on what might have happened statewide or in a few counties that you might want to talk about? I don't know.
We do, but we're not really sure because they're not really sure. So we're
Yeah.
still exploring the sureness of their validity. And so without all the data, they're not sure. So we're not sure, and that they're sure that we're sure.
But you're being assured.
But trust us, we certified the election.
Assurance that Potato Biden totally won Minnesota.
So here, I'm going to show you what I think is coming in the next voter rights bill that we're going to see. Okay, because we want to be sure that any person who wants to vote, we want to be sure that what they want is going to work. So I think, is it backwards or can you read it? It says, I vote for all Democrats. Thanks.
Well, actually, that's already been done. So
like that.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
that.
Right now, everybody take out your driver's license. Take it out. Take a look at it. If you've got that little donor thing on there and it's D, you're already enrolled in the system because D is for Democrat, and because they care so much about you and they don't want the to spread, they're going to go ahead and vote for you because that's the new automation, that's the new technology that we're going to be under. Is because we know you want and you care about government, and we care about you that you care about government. We're going to make sure that we vote ourselves in so that you don't have to care about wasting your time to care about government because we got you.
Help them, help you, help them, help you.
And D is for capital dumb, which stands, D is a capital D that stands for dumb. And we have trouble right here in Minnesota. So just everybody show up and vote Democrat. It's all good.
Because that'll work. Yeah.
And don't worry, because remember, the has been on the nightly news every single night in Minnesota ever since we did, even before the 2 weeks to bend the curve, slow the curve, whatever that is. Congratulations on the 1 year anniversary, by the way. But here's another fantastic stat you guys will love. And we're going to have to change how we do things here because with the closures of the schools, we're going to have to go to the half-gallon cardboard boxes because in Minnesota, there were slightly over 6,000 people that have died of COVID, but there were 11,876 voters that registered in September of 2020 that are missing. They're out of the database.
How many?
11,876. But don't worry, it was slightly better in October. Only 7,567 people. So whatever happened to help save people from getting missing, we significantly improved. So
that's
with
those
almost
numbers, we're still waiting for our new database, which should have gotten here 10 days ago, and we're still waiting, right?
Right.
So could be a lot more missing.
Right. So
we don't know yet.
Yeah.
We
So
haven't gotten the data, which we should have already gotten.
Yeah. So we're going to be working with Kemp's to make sure that we get the half-gallon size, so we can put 16 pictures on there at a time, that way families can help us look for these missing people. Will
there be a special phone number that people can call for all these missing Minnesotans? I hope they're on the sides of these milk gallon jugs with all of these 2x2 photos, 2-inch little photos. There could be a number because this seems like a major problem.
It's 1976 vote now.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and get a hotline directly to some of the nonprofits run by certain very wealthy Democrats, because I'm thinking some of them might have moved to housing owned by some of those people in places maybe like Illinois or New York. So we know where to start looking for them, I think.
Right. And
we'll have a team. We're going to have a team, the search team.
Yep. Right? We're going to canvass entire neighborhoods, and we're going to need a lot of your folks' help. We're going to be putting out search crews. We're going to get dogs. We're going to train people. We're going to get them lists. We're going to have binoculars. We're going to need people to make sure they have a lunch, and we're going to do a line, and we're going to canvass entire neighborhoods to make sure we find the missing.
Across the country.
Because
people in other places are also going to be looking for voters likewise. So trust me, this is not a Minnesota problem.
Right.
Is there a possibility that some of these ballots that were mailed out to people were never returned or turned up somewhere else? Do we have any idea how many absentee ballots were mailed out to Minnesotans around the world in the Minnesota diaspora, so to speak, and then how many were actually returned?
Well, no, because the dog ate that report, so we're not sure.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we know there was a lot of return. We know that we had like an 80 to 90, was it an 85% return rate or an 80?
Yep.
Exponentially high. So I will say this, in spite of the fact that our governors told us, remember Tyrant Tim told us that we were all horrible people in Minnesota and one of the most repressive, horrifically awful,
White.
terrible people in the country.
Yeah.
Remarkably, all things considered, for some reason, in spite of the oppression that people face every day living in our terrible state, according to the governor, we have remarkably the highest voter turnout, which is exactly the opposite of what you would think, because usually in states that are oppressive, they also suppress voter turnout, except for in Minnesota, where apparently we're repressive in everything but voting, which is ironic because you would think all those people we're repressing would be voting for people, right, who would make sure that we aren't suppressing people. But apparently they're voting for the wrong people, but it's the Democrats that win. See, none of the narrative actually makes any sense, right? So we are horrible people. We make everybody feel miserable and awful, and we do awful things, but everybody votes, highest in the country, yet the consequences are all awful, even though we have the highest turnout in the country and have for 3 elections in a row.
Right.
Yet still, we're the worst people in the world.
Yep.
How does that make any sense?
We make it so easy for people. Go ahead, Rick.
So another thing that's really interesting too is, remember in the state of the, in order to get the vaccine, you need to have a ID, you need to register on a website, you need to tell them about your medical background, which the state has no business doing. They're actually doing more background checks for a shot that the government is wanting to give out than they do for voting.
What if we had contact trace voting?
Oh, yes.
That's a good idea. We haven't even talked about that.
Oh, future.
We got to put that on the list. Contact tracing for voting.
Right. Yep.
And I'm writing it down. This is going to be a new thing we're going to talk about. Contact tracing for voting.
Yeah, because that way, if you haven't voted, we could actually alert your cell phone that, hey, there's a countdown. There's 1 hour left. 50 minutes. Hurry up, get to your polling place. There's 30 people in line. You can make it. Get down there.
This is
wouldn't that be like actually having an ID for voting? I mean, that you can't have an ID for voting because that would be like systemic bad things, right? That would be like intrinsically saying, well, we're going to make you prove who you are and your place of residence to actually be able to vote in the United States or in Minnesota, in addition to some other state. So
you're thinking about it too much. You're thinking too much.
Yeah. Thank you. I know I have a problem with that. I've been told. Thank you.
Yeah, thinking's going to get you in trouble. That's going to get you canceled.
But they could eventually decide that in order to vote, you should have to provide proof that you got the COVID shot. Actually, by the time we have the next election, we'll probably be on like variant number 978. So that would mean we'll probably be on vaccine version number 37. So you're going to have like, when like you take your credit card thing and it like drops down with all your pictures, like the drop down of the proof of all the vaccines that you got, right? So to walk in the door, it's going to be the new poll tax. It's going to be the COVID vaccine tax. It's going to be like, but the deal is that it's only going to be conservatives that are going to be poll taxed out, vaccinated out, because see, we're going to refuse to get the vaccine. So then we're not going to get to vote because we don't believe in the common good. So we don't it's coming.
But we believe in science. So we as a group of conservatives, we believe in science and want to be part of the control group, but that's not acceptable.
Yeah, I want to be in the control group. I volunteer as tribute to not get the vaccine.
Yep. I'm against racism, so I'm going to be in the back of the line, not getting the vaccine.
Yep. Everybody can go in front of me.
I can see why your message isn't getting out to people. You guys clearly think too much. And your humor is on a level that's higher than the public discourse is capable of sustaining. And I'm afraid, like, how do we break it down for folks to
Oh,
help?
I think people get it. I think people get
I
it.
agree.
Just afraid to say it. We're just saying it.
I'm so
Got
sorry.
it.
You're right, Wes. This is how we have to explain it. So to answer your number, so you were asking, do we know how many ballots they sent out? Allegedly,
Just enough.
if we use the Common Core theology, they stipulate that they sent out 2.19 million absentee ballot. That's how many were requested.
2.9 million. Okay.
But so yeah, 2.19 million, but then 1.92 million returned them, but only 1.90 million were accepted. But don't worry, because when we certified the election, everything was okay. And 5 days after the state canvassing board met, when we looked at the voter histories, remember, only 38.9% of the ballots were connected to an actual voter ID, but that's Common Core acceptable. It's okay that it's okay to cross 60% and give it an A.
Are you saying that 38.9% of voter turnout was connected to voter registrants?
It was not.
Was not. And
Was not.
so 2.
Isn't it a super secret database that you can only get if you pay a lot of money and ask for it many, many times over? And we haven't gotten it, even though we've asked for it now, and it's taking a long time because apparently they're confused how to give it to us. But there is no provision in the law that allows them to have a secret database that they don't share with the people. So that's a different issue.
But then,
trust your teachers. The answer is right.
If I could recap, I think you're saying 2.19 million were sent out.
Yep.
1.92 million were returned.
Yep.
So less were returned than were sent out, which is as expected. However, 1.90 million were accepted of those that were returned.
Right.
So do we know anything about these ballots that were rejected that were sent out? Or do we know anything about these ballots that were sent out but were never returned?
We have a little bit of information, but it's hard to trust it because we haven't seen it with our own eyes. And so we have to trust people that tell us to trust them when we can't trust them because they won't give us enough of the data. And because we haven't been able to legitimately review these and have legitimate ballot boards, it's hard to trust the trusters to trust us, to trust them, to trust us, to be able to trust you to give you that information.
Who will guard the guards?
Right.
So nobody guards the guards. Well, the attorney general might be supposed to guard the guards, but he's definitely not. Because you want to know what he did? He sent out a tweet on election day, and he said, "We don't have enough votes quite yet. Go grab a friend, even a new friend. Help them vote, because we don't have enough votes quite yet." How would he know that? How did he know that? How could he possibly know that they didn't have enough votes quite yet? He's a lawyer. You know, words matter, don't they?
No. Sorry. No. Not to be a smartass, but this guy, I mean, yeah, on election day, and I think I remember that tweet actually, but
I have it. We screen captured it, believe me. I got it.
How many days after election day did he continue to accept ballots, and of which kind? I mean,
well, here's the thing. If you have them ahead of time ready to go, are you accepting them later, or are you just deciding how many you need to count, number one? And number two, let's just say hypothetically, your algorithm was wrong because I'm not even talking about Dominion, because I don't really think that that's our problem, really. I mean, it is a problem, but it's not the problem that I think mattered the most. if you really believed that, let's just say when Rick talks about the 1.9 million absentee ballots, okay, and on election day, the real problem here is that the number of votes that we had was 1.3 million precinct ballots, but maybe we only thought we were going to have, 900,000 precinct ballots. Let's say that we thought we had so many people voting absentee that we were good. We were covered with our algorithm for voting. And all of a sudden, instead of 900,000 people showing up on election day to vote, suddenly we have, 1.38 million people show up to vote. And we know those people are mostly going to be more likely Republicans voting for people we don't want to win. So all of a sudden, we don't have enough votes quite yet because too many Republicans showed up to vote. Now we don't have enough absentee ballots. So you people get your butts to the polls and vote because we didn't make up enough fake ballots. In Hennepin County and Minneapolis, we are Johnny on the spot because Ilhan Omar was ballot harvesting and those stinking Project Veritas people were here and caught us. So now we are going to quick get all of our stuff counted early and be done so we can pretend like there's no problems. We can close the books up. So now we can't do anything shenanigan-y there because we already wrapped it all up pretty much. We're kind of done and we've got a plan. So we're going to be done, at 9:05 p.m. We're going to, or 9:00, right? We're going to be done. So we can't cheat there or screw it up. So you know what? We can go to Dakota County, can't we?
Yes, and here's what we're going to do in Dakota County.
Let's go to Dakota County.
Hold on. Wait a minute. We don't have enough ballots. Do we have any extra ballots? No. I know what we can do. Let's overnight a Dominion printer and let's get that sucker in here and let's print them.
The printer we were going to get. Remember, we ordered a printer that needed to be here by February in case we had the election for that poor guy that died? We can get him to overnight it really quick. We can print ballots. We could, couldn't we?
And we did.
We don't want to make assumptions. They might not have done that, but it could have happened.
But there was no other reason to overnight a printer after an election, right?
Do you want to know how we could find out what really happened? Somebody could file a lawsuit and the courts could actually let us see the data and then we would know what actually happened, right? And then this would all be done and we wouldn't even be talking about it right now because they would have let us count, for example, all the envelopes to see, do we have enough envelopes to prove that there actually was an envelope, an outer envelope that is stored by precinct in the county, right?
And how long are they supposed to hold on to this data?
For about 22 months. So what I'm saying is the courts could have let us proceed and then we wouldn't even be able to talk about any of this because, it would be done, right? Because they would have shown us the proof that it was all good. But instead they said, you know what? We're going to throw you out on a technicality because we don't want to talk about it anymore. We're not, you know what the state canvassing board is going to say? We don't care that Dakota County was missing 800 ballots in one of their precincts, even though the law required them to count 3 more precincts and they didn't do it. We don't care. We don't care, right? It's okay that they just didn't have 800 ballots at their post-election review. Why would we care about that?
Ballots in that precinct.
Why would we, it says we have to hand count them or and if we are short by what do we have? 0.5%? If they would have been off by 10 ballots? No, 5 ballots? Wait, 4 ballots? They would have to count 3 more precincts. They were only missing 800. Wait, 800 ballots? They're missing 800 ballots. Did I just say 800 ballots?
I'm afraid you did.
Yep, I did actually. I said 800 ballots.
Did you mean 800?
I actually meant more than 800, but I don't want to give you an exact number, but it was more than 800.
It was.
Let's just say they definitely should have had to count 3 more precincts. But see, the problem is they might not have segregated their precincts like they're supposed to under the law. So they might not have been able to quickly go find it, right?
Or they didn't print them in time.
Yep. And so then they would have had to print more ballots. Oh my God. Like,
Looks like Rick Schneider on Saturday Night Live. Making copies. How about printing ballots? Printing ballots.
This is going to be like a comedy routine.
Oh, it's like all a blur. It's all a blur. Yeah.
When you guys come to Rochester, Minnesota, you're going to bring the house down. This is hysterical. I mean, this is like a comedy routine. We have to laugh or we'd be in a fetal position, weeping ourselves to sleep with a pint of crunchy monkey.
Can I give you a teaser that's going to scare you, though?
Okay.
Since you keep talking about Rochester.
Yeah, because I like you. Yeah. What's up?
You might not like me anymore after I say
No,
that.
I need that info because Rochester's a special case. We need your info that you're going to bring down here, especially for us. Tell me what's up in Olmsted County.
So somebody's coming for Rochester. They're coming for you. And I'm not kidding. And it's called the Met Council.
Wait,
yes.
Oh.
And so they're coming for you. I'm just letting you know right now.
It's
coming for you through Goodhue County.
It's called the swamp.
Yes.
It will lurch its way down to you and seep into every crevice of your society and your cities. It first starts with little tiny things, and then
initiatives and nonprofit organizations, and capture the wealth of philanthropic wealth of rural communities. And
Goodhue County is under attack. They're going through Red Wing, and they're coming for Goodhue County. They cannot get to you until they first destroy Goodhue County. And I'm telling you, the elections in Goodhue County, first Dakota, we've just told you, Dakota County, oh my goodness. Now, we're already seeing in the city council races in Goodhue County, they're affecting those local races because they need to destroy Goodhue County to get to you in Olmsted County. They're coming for you, people. You better wake up. They're coming.
I don't know if it's geographic because I feel like they're already here. In Olmsted, we've got these administrators from Los Angeles who've been parachuted in. Brooklyn, New York City, who've been parachuted in. We've had $200,000 per election spent to unseat at least 3 candidates I know of. $200,000 per candidate spent by Mayor Michael Bloomberg of New York City out of a P.O. box in Midtown Manhattan. They're coming for us. No cities left. Yeah, every city's initiative. Yeah,
it's brutal, the planning. And once Goodhue County's out of the way, you guys, they're going to run you over. Yeah, they're going to take everything you've got.
I've tried talking to business owners down here who don't understand why they're losing their business. They think they're essential somehow. And I said, oh, well, I'm going to leave here. I've got business options in Arizona. I've been looking at plans to move out of state. It's like, I said, do you realize you think you're threatening anybody? That's the plan, to have you sell out at a premium. There's a fire sale on property right now in Olmsted County. It's a fire sale. The oil money coming in here, the petrodollars coming in, the nonprofit agencies that are starting up, the Vologs, Catholic Charities is starting up again, Lutheran Social Services, all of those initiatives they're rolling up. Rochester is spending municipal dollars funding nonprofit organizations from St. Charles over to, Casson, Manorville, Byron, this whole ring of fire around Rochester. The nonprofit agencies are doling out money to create initiatives in smaller towns.
Make sure you put they're going down, down, down in a ring of fire.
You have it's the primacy group. I bet you they're consulting. That primacy group, they're strategically consulting. Look and see. Look it up. See how much they're in all the business down there.
Definitely. Do you guys have any other good news for us, or is that
We're going to save you. We are going to save you. We are starting to you are going to help us, help you, help us, help you. Right?
Yeah.
We're going to start educating people. We're finding the more we talk to people around the state, there's more and more people that are starting to understand what's really happening. And I think Rick will agree, people in Minnesota, people around this country turned out to vote in numbers the Democrats never planned. They weren't prepared. And the good news is people like Rick are helping us find exactly where they cheated, so that we are going to have all those people who turned out to vote. They're going to be engaged, and they're not going to be able to cheat in those places again, because we're going to be on the watch. It's not going to happen. And all their little hacker friends that cheated with the mini, guess what? We have conservative people who can watch those hackers and not let them do it, right? See, Rick knows. See, now we know how they did it.
Yep.
Once you know how they did it, you can try to stop them. So they don't even know. See, now we're awake. So their woke is fake woke. Our woke is real woke.
Yeah, and we're everywhere, and we're watching them, and they don't like it, and suddenly they realize that we've awakened to their shenanigans. Can I just say that you guys, I'm going to give you the option to give your final pitch, but we're so looking forward to having you in Rochester. This is tremendous information you're going to be dropping inside Olmsted County, and we'll be bringing folks from this whole ring of fire, Winona, southeastern Minnesota, up to Wabasha, Goodhue County, Fillmore, Pierce counties, the whole of southeastern Minnesota. And looking forward to having you here. Do you guys have anything else you want to say to punch out your info? Anything final you want to slam people with?
Yeah, take a look for updates at Midwest Swamp Watch on our YouTube channel. That's kind of where it all begins. You'll find more information there, and even some links in there to some of the information that we have. Stay tuned, because there is a lot of stuff that we are going to be exposing out there. And this dystopia, it ends with us. And it's time to take our freedoms back. And it's time to bring integrity into everything we do and everything we touch, and make sure that we take our state back, and that we become the Minnesotans and friends that we deserve. And you guys are awesome. You don't deserve this, and it's time to drain the swamp.
Yep. And I would just add that, Democrats, the DFL, PNC, their success depends on the dumbing down of America. And that's been their goal for decades, right? They have destroyed our public schools. They have taught people to be mockingbirds, taught people not to think. The difference between them and us is that we believe in critical thinking, not critical race theory, which is actually the opposite of thinking. We believe in actual critical thinking. And so what we have on our side are thinkers, people who solve problems, people who recognize the lies, people who know the truth. And we're fighting. We're teaching our children to think. And that is what terrifies them. So we're going to win. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a fight, but we will win, because we think.
And the unexamined life is not worth living. We must think and keep these issues moving forward. Susan, Rick, look forward to seeing you guys soon in Rochester. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for red pilling folks. And I just appreciate the work you do. And we'll include links to all of your preferred social media contacts and the preferred websites where people can get involved with these issues. We'll put it in the descriptions below this video. Thank you so much, guys. Keep it up.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.